Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Now, a lot of people ask me all of the time, what is your favorite tanks in the game? Now, as you all know, there is one particular tank that is my all-time favorite. Everybody should know what this is, but yet I still get asked all of the time, what is your favorite tank in the game? So I've made a video, an updated video. I have done this video in the past, actually quite a long time ago now. But these are my top 5 tanks in the game. Doesn't matter if it's tech tree, and it doesn't matter if it's a premium tank. It's just my favorite tanks in the game. Now, coming in at number 5 is the Dracula. Ever since the Dracula got into the game, not because it's OP, or at the time it was OP, it's more because it was fun. And that's why I loved playing the Dracula. If you can play a Dracula in a platoon, not only are you going to win a lot of your games, but you also have a lot of fun in these tanks. Just driving one of them, you can get around the map so quickly. And I just love the tank. I've always loved the tank. I don't know if it's broken or OP right now, because it's not really in meta. There's better tanks than this, but the Dracula there's always going to be a space in my heart for the Dracula. It's still a tank to date that I randomly just take into battle because I enjoy playing it, and I think I'm always going to enjoy playing it. So number 5 is the Dracula. Coming in at number 4, it is the FE4202. Now, again, this was one of my favorite tanks, and it has been for a very long time. And there's one reason: the Hesh. I absolutely love the Hesh, especially on a medium tank where you could do upwards of almost 600 damage per shot. Now, you can argue that the Centurion 7.1 is better than this because it now has speed, it has a turret, but I've still gone for the FE4202. I don't want to change it now to the Centurion because it got buffed and it's not overpowered, but I still love the FE4202. Fair enough, the Centurion is probably better, and it is better, but I get on better with the FE. It does go quicker than the Centurion. They both got speed buffs, an extra 10 kilometers an hour, and you can really feel that speed buff on both tanks. It's amazing. You can use the extra mobility to get around the tanks, use the HE into the side, and of course into the rear, where you will pump up your DPM even more than it already is. Most of the time I shoot Hesh in this thing. You can pen almost anything, absolutely anything, any tier 10. You could anything, any tank in the game, no matter how much armor it's got. If you can't pen it frontally, then just get to the side of it or get behind it, and you will be able to penetrate it with Hesh, doing upwards of 575, I believe, damage. And it's always been one of my favorite tanks in the game, and I think it always will be. Not a lot of people like the tank, but you need to know how to use the Hesh. If you don't know how to use the Hesh, then I probably wouldn't recommend using the Hesh gun. And that, again, is what I love about the tank. You don't have to use the Hesh if you don't want to. You can use heat. You can change the gun, and you can use heat. Now, this game here, we're not going to talk about this concept here. It happened to be in my game. I'm not allowed to talk about it as I am testing the tank. So I just thought I'd point that out to you guys, because I know someone is going to say, hey, look, there's a concept there. But you can see how easily we dealt with him. HE into the side, and then we're going to have a nice HE into the rear of this E3. So yeah, the FE4202 is definitely up there with my most favorite tanks, coming in at number 4. So coming in at number 3, it is the Action X, the Carnarvon Action X. Now, this is a premium tank, a tier 8 British premium tank. I love the camouflages on the tank. It has 2 camouflages that you can choose from. I personally love this one. Keep calm and carry on. It's great rate of fire. It's got a great turret. It does have that weak point on the hatch, but you move backwards and forwards, then it is going to be a difficult pen. The accuracy is really good, the DPM is really good, the speed, it's got everything. This tank has got everything going for it, and some people may say it is overpowered. I don't think it is overpowered, but it is very, very, very strong. I love the rate of fire on the thing. It's a very, very fast reload, 4.5 seconds in fact, and of course it doesn't have the hesh of the British tanks, but you don't really need the hesh with this tank. Get yourself on a ridgeline. It has the gun depression, and it has that DPM to really annoy the enemy team. So definitely coming in at number 3 is the Action X. And in fact, I could have probably put this this at number 2, but I went for number 3 because it fits in with the other 2 tanks that are up there. And I think the other 2 tanks that are above this, I play more than the Action X, and that's really why I chose this at number 3 and not number 2, because my number 2 I do play regularly. I play in ratings, I play it pretty much on stream. When I stream, I'm always playing this next tank that is on the list. But definitely it's a really good entry at number 3. The Action X, when it does come for sale, if you can pick it up, it really is worth it. It is a fantastic tank, and you will not regret buying this tank. You can just get behind these guys and just use your DPM, just absolutely destroy them, and you will get the odd bounce in this thing as well. So yeah, that is my number 3, the Carnarvon Action X. So coming in at number 2, it is the Waffle, the Waffen Traeger, however you pronounce it. But this is this is up there. Well, it's number 2, so I really enjoy playing this tank. It really does perform. Now, it's not one of those tanks where you just have to sit at the back of the map and snipe either. You can play it aggressively. It doesn't have armor. It doesn't have no armor whatsoever, but everything else, I don't even know what it is about the tank. Now, the grill, I absolutely love the grill as well. I could have easily put the grill as number 2, but the Waffle, in my opinion, is much better than the grill. The armor profile, yes, it doesn't have any armor, but your front plate has got enough armor to hold, so you don't have HE at your front plate from anyone. Yes, big tank, Death Stars and tanks like that, yes, they will be able to HE you pretty much anywhere. But other than that, medium tanks, they will be able to shoot your turret. But the front plate is actually quite strong for what it is. It's not strong, but you can take some HE, and because you've now got the spool liner on the tank as well, it just makes it even better because people doing less damage. And Wargaming buffed it a while ago, so it has that gun depression on the side and it has the gun depression on the rear as well. So try and not, if you do play this tank, try and not come straight up like we are doing here. It is better reversing up because you will get the gun depression. But of course, if a tank's looking at you, then yeah, you want to be showing your front plate rather than the rear of you, where they can HE you. But definitely a worthy entry at number 2, one of the most fun tanks to play in the game. And again, I play this all of the time. But still, number 1, it's forever been my number 1, and it will forever be my number 1, and that is the Leopard 1. Absolutely love the Leopard 1. Everything about the tank, other than the armor, of course, but it's probably why I love the tank so much, because it has no armor. It has everything else going for it. It has an amazing gun. It is the highest DPM medium tank in tier 10 since Wargaming made it that way. They buffed it ever so slightly, but that little buff made it, I think the buff was literally like 0.01 or something like that second, 0.1, 0.2 reload, but it just made it the highest DPM medium tank in the game. Now, because it has no armor, it makes you think about what you're going to do, where you're going to go, and who you're going to focus on. Because if you can see a Death Star or anything big on the enemy team, you know that you need to watch out. And I think that's why I love the tank so much, because it does make you, it is a thinking man's tank. You can't just roll up. It has everything. Like I said, it has gun depression, it has DPM, it has mobility, and it has accuracy. Now, the accuracy is one of the best in the game, just up there with the T62, up there with the things like the grill. Overall, it is just a fantastic tank, and it's a tank that I've loved ever since I bought the tank, and it is a tank that's been my favorite tank ever since I bought the tank. Absolutely love it. It is a tank I often go to in tier 10 when I just want to have a chill, have a little bit of fun, and hopefully do a little bit of damage. But hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Let me know your favorite tanks in the game. Are any of your selections the same as mine? I'd love to know in the comments below. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button, because most of you are still not subscribed. So hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm Meadsy. I'll catch you soon.
With We'll